Pimento University. Pimento U. Good old P.
Joy to the world. Roaring Moon is gone, Silksong has a confirmed release date, and right on time, because we have another tier shift. 3 months since the last tier shift, a lot has changed. NU banned Mienshao and Oricorio Sensu. Later they banned Titan after Alola Ninetales dropped. Also it was duck season in UU, and the player base acted accordingly. Oh, and they quick banned Poltergeist. The popularity of the last tier shift video got me thinking, hey, why not make this a tradition? So strap in, cause I'm gonna explain once again why certain Pokemon rose and why some fell off. Let us begin.
1738.
I'm not good enough.
I'm like, hey, what's up? Since your pretty ass, soon as you came in the door, I just wanna chill, got a circle across the road.
Your eyes aren't deceiving you, because Garchomp has finally returned to OU. Now, I'm really excited for this because Garchomp... I guess it was never meant to be. Finchinator, Ausma, take over for me while I grieve.
Hey guys, what's up? It's overused cheerleader and moderator Finchinator here, discussing Tinkaton, which raised from underused to overused. Tinkaton is one of the most interesting Generation 9 Pokemon, features one of the best typings in the game, which unfortunately is juxtaposed by pedestrian statistics. It's got that Steel Fairy typing, but nothing that stands out in terms of base stats, with a plethora of, practical moves ranging from Stealth Rock, which functions really well with Mold Breaker, to, pretty classical disruptors like Knockoff, Encore, and Thunderwave. Tinkaton is blossomed into a really respectable utility role in the metagame. Normally it uses Air Balloon, which allows us to have a really great defensive profile, hanging around against things like Darkrai, Roaring Moon, even Dragonite initially. And it's also one of the best at disrupting tempo with the aforementioned Encore and Thunderwave. Overall, Tinkaton is one of the bulkier Pokemon, but not one of the bulkiest, and it has a strong move in Gigaton Hammer, but there are definitely many stronger Pokemon in the metagame. Overall, it's pretty middle of the road, but it's a quintessential glue piece that fits really well into bulky offense and balanced teams, which allow for it to linger over the usage threshold in OU. It definitely has some sticking power, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Thank you. Bye.
Are you drowning? Because if you do, it's an automatic forfeit. Anthony?
Despite a good showing in OU within the first few months since it received Triple Axel in the Indigo Disc DLC, it wasn't able to achieve the same highs as before as a result of booster energy Pokemon King Gambit and Zamazenta being staples of the tier. However, it has recently experienced a nice resurgence thanks to SPL usage and high ladder, highlighting the strong offensive fundamentals that made it so potent in the previous generations. Its speed tier is still very premium, and its strong, spammable knockoff makes it a fixture on different kinds of hazard stacking teams, making it a looming presence that can make progress and win games very handily with Swords Dance, solid priority, and a very effective stab combination. It often uses Terra Ghost to get an immunity to common priority moves like Dragonite's Extreme Speed and Iron Valiant's Vacuum Wave. However, it's far from a one-trick pony. It is occasionally seen used with Life Orb to amplify its damage output, Low Kick for King Gambit, or Icicle Crash for a more reliable Ice-type stab. There is also some fringe choice band usage, as well as some sets with Terra Ice to make its Triple Axle near unwallable and its Ice Shard a more reliable sweeping tool into offense while shedding its U-turn weakness. Its resurgence can be partially attributed to its solid Roaring Moon matchup, since it possesses a better speed tier alongside super effective priority and Ice Shard, thus providing a bit more counterplay to an otherwise very oppressive setup sweeper. However, despite Roaring Moon being banned, Weavile has still seen a generally good win rate in SPL and solid high ladder success. The increased ladder usage that led to its rise in OU may have been a bit reactionary due to the Roaring Moon panic, but it is far from unwarranted since it has seen consistent success for a little while now anyway, so you shouldn't be surprised if it's here to stay.
I played these games before!
Are you sure?
Thank you for covering for me. Alright, let's see. Oh, Blissey, okay. Hyper Offense is less popular as bulkier teams with hazards and strong breakers become the face of SVOU. These teams are able to play the long game while having the tools to assert pressure. Meowscarada is in an awkward spot. It's not a bad Pokemon at all, but it faces competition with other knockoff abusers and fast pivots in the tier. The increased usage of not just Moltres and Zapdos, but also Corviknight, has not been doing it any favors. But hey, with its new addition Triple Axle, I'm sure Meowscarada will be happy to terrorize UU once more.
Huh?
Pray for Meowscarada, everyone. Rillaboom dropped because, to put it simply, being a pure grass type sucks. It's an inconsistent Ogerpon check thanks to U-turn variants being a frequent sight, and Rillaboom not enjoying losing band to a potential knockoff. OU has had plenty of grass resists in the past, but Pecharunt's dominance in the tier was the nail in the coffin. It both outspeeds and threatens Rillaboom with Malignant Chain, while tanking whatever Rillaboom throws at it, even banded knockoffs. Hyper Offense, Rillaboom's best matchup, is not only less common, but the archetype has several grass resists that easily generate setup turns from a choice locked Rillaboom. Oh, and Corviknight is really popular right now.
Can I kiss you, or will I be electrocuted?
Only one way to find out.
Iron Jugulis is a Pokemon.
Iron Jugulis is a Pokemon that has risen to UU. Hyper Offense continues to be the dominant archetype in UU. Double Dark Cores are frequent in HO as they can pressure would-be Dark-type checks, and Iron Jugulis is a natural fit on these structures. With a booster energy, it was faster than nearly everything, even outspeeding common Scarfers like Zarude. On top of that, Dark Pulse, Hurricane, and Earth Power threaten the entire tier for at least neutral damage, which includes dedicated Dark Resists. Leveraging a 4th move slot like Workup for even more power, or Taunt to shut down stuff like Clodsire and Terrestrialized Slowking.
You're my new best friend!
The clip speaks for itself. I haven't been keeping in touch with RU, but I could try explaining this. RU became a relatively balance-oriented tier after losing several HO staples, and so naturally, Feraligatr is going to benefit from this environment. It differentiates itself from Gyarados by being able to immediately crush defensive teams after a single Sword Stance. Packing Crunch for the defensive king Slowbro, Ice Punch for Wuchan, Cyclizar and Salamence, as well as Liquidation, which can Oko Galarian Weezing and 2-KO Quagsire with Terra Water. Feraligatr could also tech Aqua Jet to pick off faster threats like Zoroark Hisui.
Get him out of here! Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals like animals.
As mentioned earlier, RU banned a lot of Hyper Offense mons, and UU towed away their car, which meant Hyper Offense had to search for new recruits to aid them in the fight against Big Stall. Gyarados and Oricorio Pom-Pom turned out to be the best replacements. Gyarados' defensive typing and access to Taunt makes it great at shutting down the balance teams that prosper in RU. With Terra Blast, Gyarados can have access to reliable Flying Stab, giving it the chance to muscle through would-be checks like Chestnut. Oricorio is a wincon that can snowball out of control with Terra plus Quiver Dance. Terra Steel in particular can set up on passive Pokemon like Umbreon. By the way, Revelation Dance has an interesting interaction with Terrestrialization. If you Terra into any one of the 18 types, Revelation Dance will be that type. I'm dropping this fun fact because most of you guys probably forgot this bird existed.
My body is ready.
Regis stole back the hearts of players, being RU again for the 4th generation in a row. If I had a nickel for every time a lower tier steel type rose back into the tier it's been in for multiple generations in Scarlet and Violet, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened more than once, right? Anyways, the player base was discouraged from using Registeel because RU got a hold of 2 new shiny steel types in the form of Jirachi and Empoleon. But later they found that Registeel can function in the same role, except its mixed bulk and access to Body Press gave it a better matchup into one of the best Pokemon in RU, Bisharp. Body Press also discouraged Cyclizar from removing the rocks it would set. Plus, Registeel can snowball unprepared teams with the classic combo of Iron Defense and Body Press, or Spread Paralysis. Flamigo has a stupid-ass design, and I love it. Anyways, following the ban of Mienshao, players started exploring underlooked fighting type options, with Flamigo being one of them. If ROM hack developers made Staraptor, this would be the result. Very few things in NU can handle the raw power of Choice Band boosted close combats or Brave Birds. Scarf variants can revenge kill the likes of Scyther and the Tauros brothers, while still being tough to switch into. For reference, Toxtricity resists both its moves, yet it still has a high chance of getting to it KO'd by its stab after rocks. As we'll see later, Amoonguss becoming the tier's premier poison-type pivot meant less Scolari and Slowbro usage, and Flamigo is happy about that. For obvious reasons. This rise surprised me, cause NU has two really good steel types, and from what I've heard, Copperajah isn't that good. But it's fine. It can phase with Whirlwind and spam knockoff, which none of these guys could do.
Say ah.
Toxtricity has been amazing in NU for a long time. The reason it never rose before is because the NU ladder sucks. Specs boom bursts and overdrives deal a ton of damage to balanced teams, while shift gear sets can sweep right out of nowhere for those expecting specs. It can find these opportunities to come in due to its solid defensive typing, somewhat offsetting its mediocre bulk. To put into perspective on Toxtricity's impact, Bastiodon has a niche in NU, because of how well it switches into Specs Toxtricity. Also, it's good into Chinchino, who's one of the best mons in the tier. The NU player base has a chance to do the funniest fucking thing ever.
Hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any
Lamp.
The man said,
What?
After graduating NFE school along with fellow Jotoni and Gligar, Porygon2 set their sights on NU, Nevada University. They managed to get accepted after tracing Chandelore's Flashfire, Flygon's Levitate, Toxtricity's Punk Rock, and Oricorio's Dancer. NU saw their potential as a bastion to some of the most dangerous offensive monsters in the format, and accepted Porygon2 with open arms. Because Porygon2 is a minor, it can run Eviolite, becoming a strong special tank capable of being a nuisance with Tri-Attack or Thunder Wave. Just keep them away from Alolan Muck.
Well, what are you waiting for? Can't you see I don't watch anymore? Just get out of here, you stupid, dumb animal!
Despite its typing and solid special bulk, Dragalge is unable to keep up, as it's outclassed by Chandelure and Porygon Z as a wall breaker. The biggest issue, however, is that Dragalge isn't even good at its job. Dragalge's best move to hit steel types is Focus Blast, and two of the best steel types in the tier just so happen to not be weak to it. You're better off with Alolan Muck, who can generate consistent progress with knockoff.
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help! My leg!
The NU ladder is trash, and keeping this thing in the tier for so long is partially why. Magic Bounce seems great in a tier with minimal hazard removal, until you realize you could be running a good Pokemon instead. Oh, and that's without mentioning how garbage it is offensively. Incineroar, Alolan Muck, Porygon2, Bronzong, Screamtail, and Klefki just blanket. Running Espeon also means you miss out on the actually good offensive Psychic types you could be running instead. Milotic finds itself outclassed as a bulky water. Vaporeon, Gastrodon, or Swampert are the go-to choices for that role, and provide much more in the builder. Milotic dropping is a good thing, because PU is really dry when it comes to bulky waters. Having something that could check both Arcanine and Rhydon would be appreciated. This British assassin is gonna shoot the Prime Minister at the stage!
Fuck!
Excuse me!
In a shell-shocking turn of events, Slowbro, as the cool kids call him, has dropped to PU. I guess it's because Amoonguss being in the tier gave it competition as a bulky poison type and a regenerator pivot, which, okay, fair. But how the fuck did Vileplume stay? This is what I mean when I say the NU ladder is horrible. Like, dude, I don't care how broken Strength Sap is, there is no reason to run it over Among Us. Let it go.
Typhlosion? What are you laughing at?
Go ahead. Say it. I know what you're thinking when you see this Pokemon. I know you can't help it, so I'm not gonna stop you. Go ahead, buddy. Say it. I dare you. I fucking dare you. I double dare you. I triple dare you. What are you waiting for, buddy? Say it. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I'll even say it with you. Say it. Say it, you piece of shit! In the Agni-Kai between the Hisui and Typhlosion's better speed tier and Chandelore's higher damage output, Chandelure set the tier ablaze while Hisui and Typhlosion sizzled away. If the metagame has adapted to check Chandelure, then the weaker Typhlosion is not gonna stand a chance.
I went to New York once in 1981 and I just did not feel safe.
Bruxish has been established for a while as one of the best Pokemon in PU, so it shouldn't be a surprise that it rose. Hey, so quick editor's note. In the script, I mentioned how Band is Bruxish's most defining set. It's actually Scarf. Most of the Bruxish you see in high level are Scarf, because it hits quite hard, has that spammable flip turn, and of course, it has that nice speed tier, which, with Scarf, outspeeds Salazzle, Blazebreed Tauros, Palmont, +2 Rhydon, and opposing Scarfers. Just clarifying, just so my video is a bit more informative about the lower tiers. Okay, back to the video.
You are
In spite of the Dunsparce's mediocre pure normal typing, its worldwide move pool and stats are more than enough to cut it in PU. It has a ton of sets, not just the dangerous sweeper sets, but also utility sets meant to set rocks and spread paralysis with Body Slam. A versatile Pokemon such as the Dunsparce can fit on most team structures, hence why it rose. Hisui and Avalugg became the premier hazard lead of PU. But what about Lycanroc? We'll get to it when we get to it. Hisui and Avalugg can fulfill multiple roles such as a hazard lead and spinner who can dish out big damage before dying thanks to Sturdy. It is able to consistently keep hazards off because PU has hardly any ghost types, and the ones available are threatened by Mountain Gale. This enables partners like Salazzle or Arcanine to run different items besides boots.
He's made of rubber!
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Okay, I can explain this one. Terrain is good in PU. That's it.
What's in the box?
Sand.
Palossand differs from other rockers like Rhydon and Mudsdale due to its access to reliable recovery. But the main reason it rose is because it's one of the hardest Toxtricity counters in a tier. But Toxtricity is gone now, so oh well.
But I have Kilowattrel. Why did I do this? Why, SpongeBob?
You know, if I had a nickel for every time a single stage water-type Pokemon rose to PU... Wait, didn't I do this already? As previously mentioned, PU is lacking when it comes to bulky waters. Quillfish fulfills this role and much more. It has an endless pool of utility options. Spikes, Thunderwave, Taunt, and Flip Turn, which is a new addition to its move pool. It has several favorable matchups in the tier, including Blazebreed Tauros, one of the scariest mons to face for PU teams, thanks to Intimidate plus its coveted water poison typing.
That's not a rabbit, it's someone's hunting dog.
No! This one's self-explanatory. It's the fastest mon with Stealth Rock plus Taunt. PU is empty when it comes to hazard leads. Do the math. Do the math. Well, they did the math, and that shit did not add up. Once people started running Hisui and Avalugg, Lycanroc stonks have plummeted. Minior is a very inconsistent sweeper thanks to the abundance of fat physical walls in the tier, and is also picked off by strong revenge killers like Bruxish or Skuntank. In terms of sweepers, PU is not short of them. There's even an anti-status sweeper already named Scrafty. So use Scrafty. And that was all the tier shifts. Hey, I ain't done yet. I have something to say. Last year, my first breakout video was on Arachnid, but I had another video in the works starting in September. It would be my first step into YouTube. I spent an entire semester putting it all together, using every bit of knowledge I know about editing and script writing. For the most part, I was having fun. But during the middle of the project, it hit me. The fear that this huge video I was working on would be all for nothing. And after uploading it onto my channel, it felt like my worries came true. Was the competitive Pokemon player reviewing movies idea too niche for YouTube's algorithm? Probably, but then I started gaining traction. People were tuning in, people were subscribing, people were commenting. Suddenly I found myself garnering 26k views on this next video, and nearly 800 subscribers. Those seem like rookie numbers, but to a small YouTuber like me, that's more than assuring that I am doing something right. That there are people out there wanting to hear what I have to say about Tanglu or Cofagrigus or Infernape or anything really. The reason this video even exists at all is because of you. And to my fellow small YouTubers, don't be discouraged just because there are content creators out there raking in millions of views by posting brainless slop. Because having 100 loyal subscribers is better than having 37 million subscribers who would leave in a heartbeat. Focus on improving your content, and more people will tune in naturally. Will I ever reach 1,000 subscribers? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm fine where I am now, doing what I love best, talking about competitive Pokemon, and making shit posts. What do you think about the tier shifts? Are you happy to see your favorite Pokemon rise? Or are you an underused player, dreading the arrival of Rillaboom? Thank you for watching, and remember, all toasters toast toast.
No, they do not! They toast bread, dumbass!